All right, joining me in the studio is Olakomi Amu Onidundu. He is the chairman of Personnel Practitioners Consultative Association, Ikeja Zone, and member Chartered Institute of Personnel Management. All right, it's good to have you join me right now, Olakomi.
Yes,
now, the president has signed the minimum wage into law, but as it is right now, no one knows when it is going to start implementation, even though the Minister of Labour has said, well, whenever it starts, we can, pay arrears and all of that. But the issue there is, it boils down to the issue of this implementation committee. One would think that Nigeria already has a template for working out this relativity.
Well, rather you will say Nigeria should have a template.
Should.
But with what is happening, you know that there is no template. That's the unfortunate thing. I will say that also, even if there is a template, the implication of application of percentage may differ. Now, don't forget, in 2011, when we last did this kind of exercise, when it was a flat, application of 900 naira on across board, the impact will be 900 on 1 million is different from 900 on 10,000 naira. Yeah. Do you understand? So it's if you want to have vertical, integration across all board, so that the impact will be fair, you will have to look intently at differential in percentage application.
How tasking would that be really? Because that's the work of the committee that's been set up now that has about 4 weeks to have all of these things done. Well,
it's not too tasking, but bear in mind also that we have 16, salary scale, structures across the public service, so they have to look at each of them because also they are not graded, in the same way. They have to look at each of them and apply and also test run it, to be sure that, look, what they have done will also stand the test of time. So I won't come back.
When you say test run, how do you mean?
Test run will be, for instance, they will give it, I want to believe that they will give it even to, maybe the permanent secretaries and all that, in all this establishment to also, see how it turns out.
All right, as it is now, what other processes is going to pass through? Because the minister was saying that it's not just going to be go stamp it and bring it and let us start paying, that it's going to go through some process. What are those processes it could go through?
Well, and that's why I'm saying that, look, some of, for instance, the head of, civil service is also already, she's chairing that committee already, but you'll find that, look, she also bring in some of our own colleagues, to verify that this will run well and all that. And I won't believe that they also want the congruence, of the NLC. So it won't be a pushback again, all right? Also some experts, Rwani is there already, but some other experts will want to see that, look, this thing is sustainable. And they may also want to now have a template, that they can use going into the future. So
how will this affect states? Because the point there is that from the committee, we didn't hear that states will be represented at the committee. There are ministers, about 7 ministers, and then people from the labor union and all of that. The private sector is another, and all of that. Talk to us.
Well, it will affect states because they can just take a cue. They'll be advised, the kind of percentage that was applied on each of the level of the salary structure. So it will be an easy pie for them, okay? It shouldn't be difficult. But, the question you will ask is still their capability to pay. That's something.
And even besides that, a lot of Nigerians have talked about the standard of living in the place like, let's say, Lagos or River State, comparative to maybe somewhere like Ebonyi State or Benue State or maybe in Zamfara or Yobe State. Yeah. So when you're putting this together. All right, we have to leave you here now. Olakomi Amu Onidundu, thank you so much for coming.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
You're watching TVC Breakfast. The federal government has inaugurated a committee to negotiate the adjustment in salaries arising from the new national minimum wage.
Secretary to the Government of the Federation says this is to ensure that civil servants benefit from the new take-home pay. The committee is mandated to negotiate the consequential adjustment in salaries arising from the new national minimum wage. Well, joining me in the studio is Olakome Amo Onidundu. He is the chairman, Personnel Practitioners Consultative Association, Ikeja Zone, and member, Chartered Institute of Personnel Management. Thank you for joining us on TVC Breakfast this morning. Now, the boss, Mustafa, is saying that for this process to be meaningful, the team or the committee has to be guided by the budget. What do you make of his statement?
Well, if they're not guided by the budget, don't forget there will be nothing to fund, whatever proposition or recommendation they bring forth. So definitely, and don't forget what the executive have said. They have already made provision for the 30,000 minimum wage in their budget. So I think the issue of budget is not coming into this now. And what we're saying is how to ensure that the impact
goes across the board.
Yes, that's
the major issue. So at what point do you think that there might be a possible negotiation?
Well, I'm not even saying that there will be need for a negotiation thereafter, because also the NLC, the TUC, NECA and all that, they are represented, in this committee and all that. So if they do their work well within this 4 weeks. 4 weeks. I think, we are good to go.
But the state governors are not involved. These are the final persons who determine if they can disburse, because some of them have come out to say that we can't pay these monies.
Well, based on the Constitution of Nigeria, is an exclusive list order. Don't forget that.
Of course.
Negotiation of public servants, minimum wage is on the exclusive list. It's just to carry them along, all right? And I will say that also, they would not say that based on what was agreed by the, in the earlier negotiations, they were a part of it. So the issue of 30,000 is not, something we can go back on now.
Of course, agreed.
Okay, but what we are saying now is how we will apply that 30,000, the increase on that 30,000 across the board. That's what we are saying now. So there shouldn't be going back on the issue of 30,000 now.
No, of course, beyond the 30,000 naira is what we are looking at. And if they cannot afford to, pay that 30,000 naira, can they afford to also ensure that the increases are met across the board? That is what we are looking at, because some of them are saying they are insolvent.
Well, I think our governors should be much more creative. There is hardly any state in Nigeria that can claim insolvency. Is it in Zamfara and all in the north, where they are mining illegal gold and still, is one of the poorest?
But you remember you mentioned the exclusive list, that some of these things are on the exclusive list and they can't handle them?
Well, if it's on the exclusive list and they cannot handle the issue of salaries, I'm saying there are some local resources that have not even been tapped into. That's what I'm saying. We should not just wait on receiving money, from Abuja and all that, before we do anything in our states. There's a lot that the state government can do. Is it in Osun State, where we have also gold, that has nothing has been done, So we should look inward and ensure that, we do something about generating internal, IGR, yes.
All right. Thank you so much, Olakome Amo Onidundu, for your time on TVC Breakfast.
Welcome.